So we're talking about why it can be difficult for children with autism to transition from one space into another space, or from one activity to another activity. And we have discussed the idea that there's 3 different cognitive theories that are used to explain the difficulties that children with autism have, and why or how those cognitive theories explain the difficulty with transition. We talked last time about theory of mind. Today we're going to talk about weak central coherence. So central coherence is the ability to integrate or put together the details of an object, an event, or an idea to make the big picture. So there's the common idea that kids will be fascinated by the small parts of a toy instead of playing with the whole toy. That's the idea of central coherence. Children with autism are often fascinated by the small detail and don't put all of those small details together to make the big picture. So we say that people with autism have weak central coherence and tend to over-focus on the details rather than see the big picture. This over-focus on details is often used to explain the extraordinary skills that people with ASD can demonstrate. So those extraordinary skills with technology, the extraordinary skills with music and art, the extraordinary skill of detecting slight changes in smell, which may mean they're an awesome perfumer one day down in their future. But that over-focus means that kids don't necessarily pick up the information of big picture. So the movement from one environment into another environment might be difficult for a child because they're focused on the small steps along the way. A child who is over-focused on the spinning blades of a fan might have difficulty moving from the car to the classroom if there's a number of air conditioning units along the way, because they will be focused on those air conditioning units, not the whole task of moving from the car to the classroom. Similarly, a child might be over-focused on a small step rather than the whole process of moving from the car or the home to the classroom. And it might feel like every single step is a burden and a battle, but it's because the child is focused on the small part instead of the whole step. Something like a social story or an activity strip could be used to help the child focus on the big picture. As I mentioned earlier, we're putting together some resources to help you, activity schedules that have the steps involved in the whole task, a social story that explains the expectation of the whole task, reward charts which have the first then steps will all be involved in our transition packs. And if you find your child getting over-focused on the small steps or distracted along the way because of their over-focus on certain objects or items, maybe our transition pack would be helpful for you in your transitions.